A laugh sliced through a quiet lobby. Marble, glass, cameras. People turned. Dion Carter stood with a mop in one hand and a lunchbox in the other. He wore a gray work shirt. His boots held dust from a long shift. A woman in white silk pointed her phone at his chest. "Wrong door maintenance," she said. "Guess only." Her name was Sloane Whitaker, Millionaire founder. Bright lights followed her. Staff moved when she snapped her fingers. She liked speed. She liked control. She liked rooms that bowed. Dion held his ground. He kept his voice low. "I am here for the elevator to the roof." She laughed again. She flicked her wrist toward a security guard. "Escort him out. This space has standards." Phones lifted. People watched. The guard stepped close. He saw Dion's eyes. He paused. "Ma'am, here's a badge," the guard said. "Facilities." Sloane rolled her eyes. "Then use the service lift. Do not ruin the vibe." Dion chose silence. He walked to the service elevator. He pressed a button. He did not look back. The doors closed. Air settled in his chest like stone. He reached the roof. A crew waited by a door marked storage. "We set," said Neve, his teammate. "Mike works. Flyers ready. Legal on deck." She handed him a thin envelope. He tucked it in his shirt. They had a plan. Not for drama. For change. Dion mopped hallways by day. He built a block by night. Back pay. Study rooms. A hotline. A fund for rent tied to wage claims. A building close to this tower stood under contract with a collective he led. Beacon House. A public home for worker rights and small business growth. No gold sign. No velvet rope. Plain doors. Bright rooms. Neve checked her watch. "For minutes in," she said. "Say the line to the camera." Dion faced a lens. He spoke to your viewers. "Watch till the end to see what happened to me and to Sloane. This story holds lesson for work, pride, and love for a street. Subscribe to Black Voices. Do not miss the turn." He set the mic down. The roof filled fast. Sloane swept in with a smile like frost. Investors flanked her. A DJ raised the volume. Staff lined a wall in black aprons and flat shoes. Sloane lifted a glass. "To growth," she said. "To my new co-working hub. To a block that knows who leads." She called for a photo. She waved staff out of frame. Dion watched 3 servers step back with tight faces. He took a breath. He felt the envelope against his heart. Sloane saw him by the storage door. She smirked. She tapped the mic. "Even maintenance showed up," she said. Laughter rose. "Clean floors. Clean brand." Dion walked forward. Neve pressed the live button on his phone. A small red light glowed. He climbed 2 steps. He lifted his hand for the mic. "Give him a word," Sloane said, smiling at the crowd. She thought a short joke would land. She thought a man with a mop had no voice. Dion spoke. "My name is Dion Carter." He looked at the staff first. "I clean. I also build." A murmur moved through the roof. "I help run the Cornerstone Collective. We bought 122 Grant Street today. 2 doors down. We will open Beacon House next month. Study rooms. A legal desk. A kitchen for pop-ups. Leases that tie rent to labor law. Audits, not slogans. Respect in writing." Sloane's smile thinned. "Cute speech," she said. "I own this guy. Your little project will fade." Dion pulled the envelope from his shirt. He opened it. He held up a deed signed at noon. He turned to the staff. "Your back pay fund goes live tonight," he said. "You will not stand alone again." Phones pointed. Gasps rose. An investor frowned. A server covered her mouth. Sloane stepped closer. "You think a mop buys a block," she said. "Sit down." Dion met her eyes. "Calm. I brought receipts," he said. He nodded at Neve. She tapped a link. Screens behind the bar flipped. A simple site filled the wall. Back pay claims. Hotline. Audit schedule. Beacon House address. Sloane's lead investor, Barrett Cole, pushed through the crowd. "Shut that down," he said to tech. "Now." The tech's hand shook. The page stayed up. Sloan grabbed the mic. Security, she said. Remove him. 2 guards hesitated. Staff stared. Silence held steady for a beat. Then a new voice cut through the air. Leave him, said an older woman in a blue blazer near the bar. Let the man finish. Heads turned. People made space. Mrs. Halima Okoye stepped into the light. Community banker. Quiet force. The fund behind Cornerstone sat on her desk for review last year. She backed it. She had seen this roof coming. She smiled at Dion with pride. Finish, she said. Dion raised a deed. He pointed to the address. He drew breath for the next line. A hand reached for the plug on the big screen. 2 days before the roof, Dion sat in a small office above a laundromat. Fluorescent lights hummed. A whiteboard held budgets and dates. Mrs. Okoye poured tea. You asked for a path, she said. You built one. Dion nodded. We have a building. We have partners. We have a plan for audits. We have a lease model. Good, she said. Now think about pressure. Sloan squeezes with landlords. Barrett squeezes with supply. You will need public support and law at your back. You will need proof. Keep your paper clean. He opened a folder. Schedules, pay stubs, text threads from managers who shaved hours when staff spoke up. Photos of a breakage fund, jar that never tracked where money went. Names redacted, dates clear. He felt heat in his face. Not rage. Focus. Neve walked in. She placed a small recorder on the table. The night shift manager at 475 West wants to talk, she said. He watched 2 years of edits. He wants protection. He wants out. Mrs. Okoye nodded. Set him up with counsel. Keep him safe. Dion pulled a map. Sloan's hub sits here, he said, pointing to a roof sketch. Beacon House sits here. He drew a line down the block. We keep our door open long hours. We add a kids' room. We host language circles. We run a jobs desk. We put rights on walls. Big font. Simple words. Neve grinned. You love a wall sign. Clarity feeds sleep, he said. People read a wall before they read a PDF. He taped a card above a whiteboard. 3 short lines. Pay on time. Post rights. Audit often. He thought about his mother. He thought about nights when the fridge held nothing but hope and tap water. He thought about the first shop owner who gave him a chance to mop for cash at age 13. He thought about the first time a boss docked an hour for attitude after a safety question. The room tilted that day. He had lived inside that tilt for years. Now the room felt level. Launch night arrived. Back on the roof, the hand reached for the plug. A server moved faster. She stepped in front of the outlet and set a tray down over it. Plates rattled. A smatter of laughs broke the tension. Sloan glared. Move, she said. The server held her place. Small. Steady. She looked at Dion with a flash of courage. He nodded, grateful. Barrett snapped his fingers toward the DJ. Kill the feed, he said. The DJ shook his head. Remote lock, he said. Now am I bored. Mrs. Okoye leaned toward the mic. Here is what happens next, she said to the crowd. The city will audit 3 properties tied to Barrett Cole's trust. Staff will meet lawyers at Beacon House next week. This hub secures no lease on this block without labor checks in writing. Barrett laughed with no humor. Who do you think you are? Someone with a bank, she said, and a spine. Sloan grabbed the mic back. Enough, she said. This is my launch. She pointed at Dion. You want to be seen. You want clicks. Congratulations. You got your moment. Dion shook his head. I want paid hours for workers. I want safe rooms for kids who wait while parents close late. I want rights on walls. He looked at the staff again. Beacon House opens the 23rd at 9 in the morning. Bring questions. Bring pay stubs. Bring courage. Sloan's jaw tightened. She turned to the investors. We move forward, she said. We close on Grant Street 2 in 30 days. We fill the block with our logo. Dion raised a deed. Grant Street 2 is under contract with Cornerstone, he said. Your seller accepted our terms this morning. Tenants stay. No fake fees. No language bans. No wage schemes in the stores you recruit. An investor near the bar checked his phone. He showed Barrett an email. Barrett's face went pale. He took a step back. Sloane smiled again, thin and bright. "Then we fight," she said. "You want a public war. You get one." She turned to leave. Phones followed her. The crowd split. Dion stepped off the riser. The server who had covered the plug met him halfway. "Name is Rosa," she said. "I want to help after work." "Come by," he said. "We start with a calendar." A camera crew moved in. A young reporter lifted a mic. "Don, are you ready for legal threats?" she asked. "We are ready for truth," he said. "Truth moves courts. Truth moves landlords who care about risk." "Name for your model?" she asked. "Beacon House," he said. "Plain name. Strong work." Rosa tapped his elbow. She nodded toward the bar. Two men in suits whispered near the edge. One held a thumb drive. Neve followed Dion's eyes. "From the night manager," she said. "Evidence." They walked over. The man with the drive looked around. He spoke in a low voice. "No cameras," he said. "I saw time edits. I saved copies. I want a clean exit." Dion looked him in the eye. "You will get counsel. You will get support." The man slipped the drive into Neve's hand. "Move fast," he said. "Barrett's office will shred on Monday." Neve closed her fingers around the plastic. "We move now," she said. A siren wailed 3 blocks away. The wind picked up. Clouds rolled in. The DJ cut the volume. People moved to the stairwell. Sloane's smile returned as cameras shifted away. Dion took one last look at the screen with the hotline number. He breathed out. He followed the crew toward the exit. On the street, a black SUV idled by the curb. A tinted window slid down. Sloane leaned toward the open space. "You think you want a night," she said. "I own morning." The window rose. The SUV pulled off. Dion watched the taillights fade. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number lit the screen. A single line. "Check your cellar. Counteroffer at dawn." He felt the night tip. He looked at Neve. She read the text over his shoulder. "Barrett tries to steal the building back at sunrise," she said. They started walking faster. Rain started to fall. The thumb drive felt heavy in Neve's pocket. Dawn came with a contract on a rival desk. At 5 a.m., Dion stood outside a small title office with Mrs. Okoye. Doors opened at 6. Barrett's counsel had booked 7. A Ray sat inside that quiet glass. "We go first," Mrs. Okoye said. "Funds ready. Docs clean. Seller trusts us. We hold line." The seller arrived at 6:30 with tired eyes and a coffee. He saw Dion. He smiled with relief. "You kept your word," he said. "You brought neighbors to my mind. I slept on it. I want peace. I choose you." Barrett's lawyer walked in at 6:45 with a folder and a face set for pressure. He saw the seller shaking hands with Dion. His mouth opened. No words came. The seller looked at him. "I already signed," he said. "Your offer raised price. Your terms cut safety. My name sits on this block. I want to read that name with pride." The lawyer swallowed anger. He left a business card and a thin threat. "You will hear from us," he said. "Through counsel," Mrs. Okoye said, smiling. By noon, Beacon House closed. Cornerstone owned 122 Grant Street. The deed went on the wall. Staff cheered. A janitor cried into his sleeve. Rosa brought tamale for the room. The thumb drive fed 3 printers. Copies stacked high. Time edits. Messaging from managers. A memo that read, "English only on floor. Keep languages in kitchen." Dates stamped. Names clear. Neve called a reporter. "We have files," she said. "We have staff ready to speak with counsel beside them." By evening, a story hit the side of the city paper. Not a gossip page. A labor desk. The headline named a pattern of wage theft. The second paragraph named Barrett Cole. The third named a language ban. The fourth said Beacon House open next week, with a legal clinic on Tuesday. Sloane went live on her page. "Bright lights. Clean wall. Gloss smile. False claims," she said. "Jealous rivals." She promised a giveaway for fans. Comments split. Some clapped. Many asked about pay for staff. A few posted the hotline from Beacon House. Barrett filed an injunction to slow the clinic. A judge read the papers and set a hearing. Monday, 9 a.m. Sunday night, Beacon House smelled like new paint and coffee. Volunteers hung a banner. Pay on time. Post rights. Audit often. Rosa taped flyers on a window. Dion walked the rooms. A study nook held 2 desks and a basket of crayons. A legal desk held clipboards and a pot of pens. A small kitchen held a borrowed stove and a stack of foil pans. Sloan walked in. No cameras. No investors. Black sweater. White sneakers. Hair tied back. Talk, she said. Dion leaned on the table. Talk, he said. I grew up with a mother who scrubbed floors, she said. I hated how people treated her. I swore I would never bend for anyone. I built a company. I thought money fixed respect. I was wrong. He listened. I will not lose to you, she said. I will not lose his block. He shook his head. This is not a fight over names on glass. This is a fight over hours and sleep. You win when people eat. You lose when people fear your logo. She exhaled. Give me a plan, she said. Something I sign. Something I do. Spare me a public beating. You want repair, he said. 3 steps. Back pay for your staff through a trust by Friday. Language access and policy, and posted by the clock. Audits in every site you touch. Third party. Twice a year. Public. She stared at the banner on the wall. She stared at the tables. She looked smaller for the first time. Barrett will never agree, she said. Then step away, he said. She laughed once. Tired. You think I leave my own brand. I think you stand with your mother, he said. Choose her over Barrett. Choose the roof cleaner over the rooftop selfie. Choose the server who hides tears at the ice machine. Choose a janitor who carries a bucket past men who do not meet his eyes. She looked down. She pressed her lips into a thin line. I will think on it, she said. She left. A minute later, a loud chirp filled the room. Sprinklers popped. Cold water rained down. Volunteers shouted and pulled cords from outlets. Papers soaked. Rosa slipped, then climbed back up with a laugh and a towel. Neve grabbed the thumb-drive box. She held it high. Safe, she said. We dry the rest. Dion ran to the breaker. He reset the panel. Water slowed. Silence returned. The floor shined with puddles. Accident, Rosa said, breathless. Or a nudge. Neve said, staring at the ceiling. Dion checked the door. A bent card sat in the slot where a key meets a lock. Someone had tried to force entry and tripped a wire. He held the bent card in his palm. He felt a hard line form in his chest. He texted a friend at the precinct. Camera pulled at Beacon House. 9:12 p.m. Send someone good. Then he wiped tables. He placed wet papers in neat rows to dry. He thanked each volunteer by name. He looked at the clock. 11:48 p.m. Monday morning waited. At 8:45, workers lined the courthouse steps. Plain clothes. Steady eyes. Reporters gathered. Sloan arrived with a small team. No Barrett. A low buzz moved through the crowd. Dion stood with Mrs. Okoye. He held a slim folder. He looked at Sloan. She looked back. No words. The doors opened. The hearing began at 9. The judge asked for facts. The city presented files. Time edits. Language bans. Threats from managers. Staff spoke with counsel beside them. Voices shook, then steadied. Dion spoke for 2 minutes. Respect shows on a pay stub, he said. Respect shows in a posted right. Respect shows when managers meet eyes. Mrs. Okoye spoke for 1 minute. Our leases tie rent to law, she said. Tenants win. Owners sleep. Blocks breathe. Sloan took the stand. She did not cry. She did not spin. I failed staff, she said. I trusted men who care for numbers, not names. I looked away. I choose repair today. She handed the clerk a signed pledge. 3 pages. Back pay by Friday. Language access and policy and on walls. Twice yearly audits by an outside firm. Public reports. A clear line to Beacon House. Barrett's lawyer rose to object on one point. The judge raised a hand. Sit, he said. This court rewards repair and punishes theft. Your client faces a separate review. The ruling came at 4 that afternoon. Fines. Restitution. Monitors on 3 sites for 1 year. A ban on retaliation. A posting requirement. A timeline for compliance. Names on record. Dates set. Outside, workers hugged in small knots. Rosa cried into Dion's shoulder. A guard from the tower shook his hand. Miguel, he said, thank you. Sloan stood under a tree with no cameras near. She walked over. I signed for real, she said. Not for show. I step away from Barrett's trust. I join your clinic days. Quiet work. No stage. Good, Dion said. Start with the phones. You answer questions for a week. Hear people. She nodded. She looked at the steps. My mother would have smiled today, she said. Honor her with hours, he said, and with posted rights. Beacon House opened on the 23rd. A line formed before dawn. A mother with a stroller. A cook with a brace on his wrist. A guard with rent due. A clerk with questions on overtime. Volunteers poured coffee. Kids drew pictures on a low table. A small sign by the door held 5 words. You matter. Your work matters. Rosa led the first language circle. Louise from down the block helped a guard read a letter from HR. Neve printed claim forms. Mrs. Okoye met with 2 shop owners about fair leases. Sloan sat at the phones with a notebook. Beacon House. How can we help? She said. She listened. She wrote. She learned. At sunset, Dion stood on the front step with a broom. A boy from the building next door stared up. Are you the boss? The boy asked. I serve this room, Dion said. Want to help? The boy grabbed a dustpan. They swept in slow strokes. Neighbors walked by. Some waved. Some stopped to read the sign. Some walked in. A reporter asked for a rap line for your audience. Dion faced a lens. Pain pushed his block, he said. Work lifted it. Pride fell. Dignity rose. If this story move you, take 1 step where you live. Pay on time. Post rights. Audit often. Share this with a friend who needs courage. Subscribe to Echoes of Black Struggles for more stories like this. Watch till the end of each one. Learn the lesson. Live the lesson. Then pass it on.